There has been a lot of controversies around 70 hours work week and 90 hours work week, and some of them are against it, some of them are supporting it, and they all have their own reasons for that. Whether those reasons are correct or not, that is totally up to you. You can decide for yourself. I wanted to talk about this topic being ex Infosys employee. So I wanted to talk about based on my personal experience. I started my career with Infosys as a systems engineer trainee back in 2018, and I was actually excited about the training part because we all know the training that Infosys provided at the time was best in the world, I would say. Can't comment on how it is now, but at the time it was really good. So I started my training, and I think it was 4 month training, something like that, if you clear everything in one go. So I started with Python, and I really learned Python quite a lot, and I became really strong in Python programming. I also learned about SQL, and again I was able to write some complex SQL statements after that training. So overall it was going good. That was the first part. In second part, they had randomly allocated different streams. So my stream was Java and for backend, and Angular for front end. So it was basically a full stack developer training. So I was expecting that maybe once this training is done and when a business unit is allocated to me, I will be working as a web developer. So the training finished and business unit was allocated to me, and I went to Pune for my first project. But then for a month, I think I was on bench because there were no projects. So I was just working on some of my own personal projects, and I was learning from different sources. And they also have something called as accelerator or something. So there you can work on some of the mini projects that they have, and you can support some different teams. So I supported some of the teams for their data related projects. And then after a month, they shifted my domain from web developer to big data domain, I think. So then I was more hopeful that I will get something related to data. And then after they changed my domain to big data, within like 15 days I got a call from one of the teams, and they interviewed me for a role in their team, and they asked me quite a lot of difficult questions on big data and things like Python programming, shell scripting. So I was hopeful that the way the interview went, it was quite difficult. So I was expecting that the role will be a lot more challenging and I will learn quite a lot. And then I joined the team. It took like a month or two to get all the credentials, so the process was very slow. And again, during that time I was learning data science and different kind of things. So it was going okay because I had a lot more time to work on my own stuff. And then the project started. During the first few weeks, I was just learning how things work and what my job was about and what I had to do, what were my main roles and responsibilities. And then I learned those things, and very quickly, within a month or two, I realized that
it was at this moment that he knew.
All the things that I'm doing can be automated quite easily. And then I still tried understanding things which I was currently working on, and a lot of those things were automated eventually. And then I didn't really have anything challenging to work on. Then I used to talk to some of the other people there within the team who were working on some actual machine learning and big data projects, and then I used to just help them. And I also talked to my manager a number of times that can you give me some projects which I really like working on, for example machine learning and data related. They were like, we will try next month, and like that they spent 6 to 7 months. And then I was like, nah, this is it. I just can't work on this thing where I don't really have to do much, just coming to the office, running those same scripts and going back home. So the point is, I was really motivated to work on something challenging and I really wanted to learn something. But then there were some other batchmates who did trainings along with me. They wanted some simple projects. So I don't know if it was by chance or was it purposefully. Those people got the projects which were really challenging. They were actually working on web development sort of things, which they never wanted. And I wanted something challenging. I really wanted to learn something. But then I got something where I just had to run some scripts. So if that is the case, nobody will be motivated enough to work for 70 hours or 90 hours. So the kind of training that you give is very good, and you train people to work on some complex projects, which is good. And my scores were really good at that time. At least I had probably 90% in the first part when Python and SQL was there, and when I finished the whole thing, I think I was still above 86-87%, and it was definitely one of the best scores there, and I was top performer. So considering that, I think it only makes sense to give some good project to those kind of candidates who were actually doing good. And then there were some people who were just scoring below 70, I think. So for them, they can give them some additional training material and then some slow-paced projects where they can learn things. But that was not the case. The projects were allocated very randomly. And if that's what happens, like I said, nobody will be motivated enough to work on those kind of things. And when you force people to work for 70 hours, they would not want to work on things which they don't like. So I think if they start giving people the projects based on their likes and based on their interest and based on their capabilities, I think people will eventually work more than what they do now. I'm not saying that they should work more than 48 hours, because if you look at the productivity chart, it falls quite drastically after 50 hours of work week. So I don't think it is worth working more than 50 hours. But if you are working on something which you really like, you eventually end up working more than that. I am currently working more than 70 hours per week. I'm currently working over 48 hours to 50 hours in my full-time job, and then I also spend quite a lot of time on YouTube. So eventually during the whole week I end up spending more than 70 to 80 hours working on different kind of things, and I really enjoy currently working on my full-time job as well as on the YouTube. So I'm enjoying it, and I don't feel like it's a hassle, and it feels a lot more interesting for me and enjoyable to me to work this long. So I think if you force people to work on something they don't like, and if you don't give them something they are motivated to work on, I don't think this 70 hours and 90 hours work week will work. And it's only going to deteriorate the employee's mental health, which eventually will reduce the productivity even further. So that's a short video from my side. I did not include any of the monetary benefits. I totally agree, because there's already quite a lot of videos on YouTube talking about that the salary hasn't increased in couple of decades, I think, for the employees, but then for CEOs and top level management it has increased quite drastically. So those things are valid. You need to give adequate compensation to the people if you want them to work for 70 hours and 80 hours. So that's all from my side. Do let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section. If you have been part of these companies in the past, or if you're currently working there, what do you think, how things are in your current day-to-day job? Do let me know in the comments. It might help a lot of other people as well. And if you found this video helpful, do give it a thumbs up. It keeps me motivated to make such videos for you guys. I will see you in the next one. Happy learning. Bye.